podcast as we yarn with 4 key community people on how they keep the fire burning. Biliir Podcast. Yaama everyone, my name's Buddy from Winangali Infusion. Just out here on beautiful Gomeroi country, Biliir Podcast series. So I'll just take you back a little bit. Biliir in the Gomeroi language or Gamilaroi language means black cockatoo. And the black cockatoo tells a story about, a lot of people know, about the rain, brings the rain, also is the firebird. Because our ancient stories have told us, and our ancestors have shared with us about the story of Biliir was a black bird at the start off. Anyway, long story short, Biliir gained the colours of the red and the yellow, and those different colours on the tail. So a part of NAIDOC this year was around how do we keep the fire burning, and it's a big discussion for everyone, particularly around NAIDOC week. And I wanted to delay these NAIDOC podcast series because I feel that it's important to discuss, who we are, our stories, and how we connect and how we grow every day. Because I believe that our most powerful tool are our stories, whether it be our ancient stories, our lived experiences, and so forth, so on. So back in 2014, I was laying on the lounge at a relative's place, and I went through a big breakup at the time. I was really lost within myself and didn't know who I was, and but with that aside, I had a like a vision or a dream come to me from our ancestors. I believe to this day, I was homeless, had no money, was couch surfing, and I really wanted to work for myself, but also the main reason was to empower myself and to empower our people as well, First Nations people. So that sat on the shelf for 2 years. I registered the business. It's 2024 now, so it's been 10 years. Long story short, 10 years of delivering culture to schools, hundreds of organisations, thousands of people over the last 10 years. And when we ask the question, how do we keep the fire burning? Well, for me, it's about connection to country. Going to sites like this right here. There's some grinding stones and stuff just behind me, and you can also see this fence behind me as well, which is a well. And this great pathway here takes us all the way up through Gomeroi country up to the Bunya Mountains there, just on the other side of Dalby, which I drove past early this morning. So keeping the fire burning was to understand who I am foremost. As a Gomeroi Māori, as a Gomeroi man, who am I? Where do I come from? What's our stories? What do I believe in? What are my connections? Does that resonate with me? The other thing is life experiences have a huge impact on who we are, what we do, how we conduct ourselves, but also how we manage things. So as I've learned over the years, I've made heaps of mistakes, plenty of mistakes, just like everybody else. Some people might say I'm not accountable for certain actions and stuff like that. But I'll tell you right now, I've always owned up to my behaviour, my actions, from when I was little, as an adolescent, teenager, into fatherhood, having children of my own, and recently just now another baby. I've always shared the truth about who I am, which has enabled a lot of growth through transient intergenerational trauma, which has led me to being accountable. I was shared a key principle today, to this day. How do I keep the fire burning? And there's one story that comes back. On my mum's side, my kinship system is, my totem is the Yaama, the carpet snake. And on my dad's side, it's that Dinoan. And every time when it starts to cool down in winter, I know that emu, that Dinoan, appears in the sky right next to the Yarundu, which is the Southern Cross. And that story shares with me at different parts of my journey. Even though it's the same story, it means different things at different stages of my life. And it's about responsibility, looking after my nest. When the female leaves the nest, she goes and hunts, and then the male will sit on the nest and he will look after that gawu, the eggs. And when you talk about metaphors or metaphoric stories, timelines, and how we connect, that really jumps out at me. And it's through my DNA, like who I am, where I come from. So it reminds me to look after my Dian, my family. I have a 22-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 3-month-year-old to sit on my nest at Dian. So when I'm asked that question, how do I keep the fire burning? It's through everything, the essence of who I am in my DNA. It's who I am, the culture stories, living in modern day society, showing up for myself, but leading by action.